The stories shared on the Busy Baddies are submitted by real listeners and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. To protect the privacy of everyone involved, all names, companies, and identifying details have been changed or omitted. Any resemblance to real people or events are purely coincidental. We believe in keeping it real while keeping it respectful. Thank you for sharing your experiences and for trusting us to spill the tea with care. This isn't about busy work, it's about power, proximity, and what really happens behind the scenes.
Welcome to the Busy Baddies, where assistants speak freely, boundaries get tested, and professionalism meets real life. I'm Michelle, EA to a Fortune 150 female CEO breaking glass ceilings.
And I'm Mel, former C suite EA, well, who's seen it all. And in season 2, we're saying things you've only ever said to your work bestie.
We're bringing bigger stories, bolder takes, and the real talk that keeps this community thriving.
Okay, so we're back. Hopefully
It's
everybody had a
March.
good week. I know spring is ever so close. I could not be more excited. It's like a renewal of
Yeah, like
hope.
you just feel better
Yes.
after, 3 months of barely any sun,
brown
gray
grass.
skies.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. So we're on the up, man.
Yeah, so what are we talking about
weather
today?
is coming. We are talking about boss goals, baby. We're flipping the switch and we're going to talk about what the hell we see in choosing bosses.
Yeah.
Who we're saying no to, why we're saying no.
Yeah.
It's kind of a build on of the idiot job of the week. So this is going to be our boss goals, not boss idiots of the week.
Yeah, and so I would love to know too in the comments, do you have something that you look for in a leader, or are you a person who can just support anybody?
Yeah, I would love to dissect the brain of a person that says that they could just support anybody.
Yeah, it's like a deal or no deal for me. Like if I don't align with you as a human being, we don't have a lot of the same traits or beliefs in a lot of things. It's very tough. To me, I could never work for someone who is just a downright nasty, awful person.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd go home every day and you'd probably start to resent yourself. I would guess. Like at some point, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, if I met this person in any other circumstance, like I would not like that.
I would run for the hills. Yeah, and I think every leader has green flags and red flags, right? Like, so I think it's going to be interesting to kind of just line up, what makes a leader worth supporting? What is it that makes you want to update your resume immediately? Because we've all been there as well. So, let's get into the, the green flags, the red flags, and all the other flags in between.
Yeah. So, I'll start mainly because I'm, you're kind of in out of the EA role, so to speak, in today's present day.
Yes.
So when I was interviewing with my leader, first off, I think, and I don't know if it's like an extrovert's like intuition, but we very quickly, it was very easy to talk, very easy to, have a conversation. It wasn't, you walk in the room and like, there's the 6 questions and it's just like, boom, 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 boom. Like it was a very safe space. I could tell like we would get along fine. At the time, her kids were in elementary school. I had a son a little older than hers. And so there was even just that chemistry of like being moms and all of those things. And, her mom for a little bit was a single mom. I was a single mom at the time. So I could already quickly see that we would be fine.
Yeah.
Right. If I were to get this job, we would have no problem. There wasn't any like awkward pause or silence. And I felt like she was listening, you know, because, you know, I'm the one on the interview, right? But you're also kind of interviewing the other person, right?
Absolutely.
Like, are they paying attention to me? Are, you know, are they fiddling with their phone? Are they half listening? Do they really care? You know, like, so I think in any interview, you're also kind of doing that. And I think it's unique because not all jobs you're interviewing with the exact person. Right. So that was kind of cool. I had interviews with 3 other people for that job. So I didn't solely just talk to her, but they were people that were very close with her, knew her working style. Yeah, very helpful. It wasn't just like the HR person and that. So it was people on her team. And so I felt very much that like it was a thorough enough interview that should I have gotten the job, that if they felt I was a good match, that we were going to work out just fine.
Yeah.
And here we are 13 years later.
Yeah. It was always funny because when I would interview for a role, I always remember coming home and my husband would be like, well, you know, well, like, how do you know that it's going to work out? Or how do you know that it's going to be bad? And I was like, I can't really describe it to you, but it's a feeling that you have. It's like a human connection, kind of like when you meet your spouse, like, you know, like, we're going to gel together. Like, we're going to be able to like be in this partnership, because it is very much like a marriage when it comes to, you see the ugly parts, the good, the bad.
It is absolutely a work marriage.
It is. And so it was like, I can't really describe that, but it is a feeling that you said. It was, I always knew, because I just got like this, like, nervousness kind of went away. I felt like I could relax and like I could
I'm so
be
glad
authentic,
you mentioned that.
and like, like it was like you go in really like
tense and
sweaty and but it's like you end up feeling like that person is like home. You know what I mean? So it was like, I can't describe it to you, because if you've never been an assistant, you don't really understand. But that sounds like that's exactly what happened to you guys.
Yeah, it absolutely did. And it was interesting because, and I believe I did talk briefly about this in another episode, but at the same time, I was interviewing for another leader at the same company, different role, and it was actually a male. And actually, I mean, didn't feel 100% the same. I think I could have certainly supported them also. It would have obviously been different. But I remember very vividly him saying to me, I'm not going to come in on a Monday and ask how your weekend was. And I was like, really? Now,
what a man thing to say.
Because honestly, I'm like, I don't believe that that's true.
Exactly.
Because I knew his admin. His admin was actually retiring, so it was a fine situation. And I saw them work together. And so I knew for a fact that was not going to be the case. So it always gave me a chuckle that he actually said that, because I'm like, you're such a liar. And he has since retired. We threw him a lovely little retirement party. It was really good to see him. And something that, I will just always see that interview him, because I think he was like trying to be
hard.
Like, maybe the worst, on the worst day, he wouldn't come in and be like, how was your weekend? Because I'm like, you have kids, you have grandkids, like, we would absolutely get to that place. But if he was trying to scare me off, it worked.
I just think that I do. I mean, I think that you have to trust your gut when you're interviewing for a job. And I always give this advice to people who ask me, like, hey, I'm thinking about working for this person. You have to take into consideration the word on the street, the reputation that they have out in the organization.
So important.
Yes.
And it's a real thing in the admin world. It
very much is, yes.
Because we all talk.
You don't want to be on that list.
You do not. And there is a list.
There is a list. Yes.
And let's just say if you reach out to somebody and you're like, hey, I'm thinking of, interviewing for so-and-so, and you get the, like, don't got much to say.
Yes.
Probably not a good thing.
No, I always tell people, check what their reputation is in the company, because you are then going to be associating yourself with that reputation, and it could drag you down a couple notches.
Yeah.
B, if you do interview with them, ask if you can speak to their previous assistants, even if they're no longer with the company, just to ask what it was like to work with them. I've done that with bosses in the past.
Or even to see their reaction of you asking to talk to their admin.
Yes, because I remember my last boss, I was number 10, 12.
I was up there.
And she'll tell you, she was the self-proclaimed Murphy Brown of EAs. And I think it was just because she was such a strong personality, but I always tell people, I think some of that was people were just scared of her. And I wish I could give every single person the gift of seeing her through my eyes, because when you got to know her, she was one of the best people that I've ever known in my entire life, and hands down the best leader that I've ever worked for.
And I think that's fair. Yeah. I do think that it probably was a lot of fear and intimidation internally of that leader. Because I obviously never supported her, but I can say with all of my being that she scared the shit out of me. But then, as she was then a member of my leader's team. And so to see her in that,
you're like,
I was like, like
she's not scary.
No, exactly. But I think that's any C-suite leader. If you are in the levels below and like you just don't know that person. I was scared to death of the previous CEO because like I just was never in a forum that like I was able to talk with them or just have a random conversation until like the transition was happening, and then I had that small window of opportunity, and I'm like, oh, you're hilarious. Like, gosh, what was I afraid of you for? So I think that's probably just fair for a lot of people and leaders, is like it's just so intimidating to see them, to talk to them. And I hear people all the time like, I'm so afraid to talk to my boss. And I was like, why? You're joking, right? Like, she's the most down to earth person. Like, puts her pants on the same way. But
it's tough. And it's like, I think that's also a really good call out, is because I think if I would have went off of what her reputation was, I could have completely misjudged her in that instance. And it was like, I always had a lot of respect for the fact too that she was very transparent. She's like, I'm African American, I'm a female, I have to show up 10 times more prepared, have my head on straight, and be the smartest person in the room because I enter at a disadvantage.
She's fighting that stereotype. I
So
totally get that.
She always started it as a disadvantage. She had a college professor who told her that she should like never even go to college and wouldn't write a recommendation letter. So there was a lot of things about her that I think people just like grossly misunderstood. But I think, ask yourself, what is the reputation of the person that I support? Do I think that we align as human beings? Is going to be important. So I guess, with that, it's, probably good to get into like what the green flags are of
Yeah.
a leader. At least for me and Michelle, these would be some things that we would be like, wow, this trait makes them a great leader in our minds.
Yeah. So one of them for me is gives credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
I always appreciate that I have a leader that has no problem backing me, no problem kind of tooting my horn, and being very open and vocal about that. I think that just kind of proves my ability with our team, with external CEOs. Like I have to obviously work externally with all of their admins. And so I loved that she has my back.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
So I guess it kind of falls into mutual respect as well, right?
Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, having enough respect, because I think that is very telling. That is a sign of, to me, a top tier leader, that somebody is advocating for you and respects you.
Yeah, and she has always vocally, in more times than I can count, openly calls me her right hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is,
validating.
So cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think the biggest one for me is, and I've even called this out in interviews, is direct, no filter, clear communication. Because I am a person who communicates very directly and very clearly. I appreciate real-time feedback, no emotions involved, just give it to me straight. Yeah. Like, if you're going to try to tiptoe around my feelings, there's going to be a lot of gray areas, and I'm going to look like I'm not giving you what you want, when really you're not clearly communicating what you want.
Yeah, and as admins, like, we can't work in the gray.
No,
right? Like, we don't want to be doing anything that you don't like, or you want it this way, but you didn't really communicate it that. You left it a little wishy-washy, and then we're doing something because we don't know any better, I guess, or you haven't given us clear direction of what you really want.
You're exactly right.
So yes, I think clear communication, and being able to just vocalize whatever it is. Like, I don't care. It's our job to kind of execute whatever it is. So don't be shy in telling us, like, I mean, even if it's as simple as, like, I want my dressing on the side, like, whatever is, right? But tell us that. Like, I don't want to be ordering your lunch for months and, like, you're barely eating it because there's just too much dressing on it. Like, just help us help you.
And there's some people who don't know what they want, and that's a problem as well. If you can't clearly tell me what you want, how am I supposed to know what you want?
Yeah.
Because everything that I do is going to be wrong.
Yeah, and that's
that's defeating.
Yeah, that's not a place I want to live in the work.
No.
I do not want you to just be setting myself up for failure every single time.
No,
because I'm going to be out.
Yeah, that's like soul crushing for us.
So my leader has always been incredible about this, and it's invest in your growth. So I know to my core that there is absolutely no way my leader wants me to go or take another job. But there was a point in our time together, I want to say I was probably 5-6 years in, and I just was at a point, my son was at a nice spot in school, and I was like, maybe there's something different I want to do.
Yeah.
And it was one of our monthly calls or meetings. I don't remember which. And it was like a frog in my throat of just like, I know I have to get it out. Like, it's been on my mind for months. And her reaction was so, I don't want to say unexpected, but it was surprising of like, okay, well, what is it?
What can I do?
Yeah, like here's some, like, let's get you talking to some people, or this,
Yeah.
that, and the other thing. And it was followed up by, like, I obviously don't want to see you go, but at the end of the day,
Yep.
I want you to be happy and doing whatever. And she gave me that opportunity to kind of have some meetings, you know, shadow some things. And obviously I came back and did not take that. You know, I just was like, you know what? I'm silly.
Yeah.
You know, like, I have the best boss in the world. I'm great at it. And like, silly me, right? And this was certainly not at a time where at all that I could have told you, you know, years later she would have been CEO.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where it really made me feel good that she was going to back me no matter what, even if it meant, you know, I wasn't going to be with her. And I do know that there are leaders out there that are not like that. No. And they are in the selfish mindset of, like,
very selfish.
I can't lose you. Like, you can't go and do something else. Well, like, how dare you? So...
Well, and it's like the old saying of the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And it also had to be validating for you to go down that road to explore what was out there, but also return back to what you love and to really validate, I am really good at this and I really do want to stick with this, and that's okay.
Yeah. And, you know? I mean, and I was also worried, like, is that going to change our relationship, our dynamic?
Right.
Like,
is she going to question?
Yeah. Like, is now it always going to be in the back of her mind that, like, I want to leave? And, you know, it wasn't. We moved on, and, you know, the rest
just kept growing since.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have double the time now. Okay, so going from green to red, which Melissa's favorite area is red flags.
This is like, I think we all love talking about red flags, just not ours.
Yeah. So these are what I like to call the thanks but no thanks on a leader.
Oh yeah.
And the first one is my personal pet peeve, which is a micromanager. There is nothing worse.
Is there anything good about a micromanager?
If you are not a, like, self-directed, self-starter, like, if you need somebody to hold your hand, but even then, in my mind, you shouldn't be an EA.
I mean, unless you are in kindergarten.
Or you've proven that you can't be trusted.
Yes. I mean, there is no benefit to being a micromanager.
No, because I think micromanagers, you know, most importantly, kill productivity and confidence. Like, when you're constantly checking up on me or circling back because you think that I missed something, clearly you don't really see everything that I do. And why are you questioning me? Like, I just, it sticks in my craw.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, well, then do you want to just do the job then?
Right.
Because what the fuck am I here for then?
Right.
Like, seriously.
Yes, and I think micromanagers usually are also not clear communicators.
Oh, 100%.
So I think there's some of the green flags that go in tandem with the red flag that make them the way that they are. Yeah. But yeah, for me, the biggest one, micromanagers. I cannot work for a micromanager. It drives me insane. And always, just for a call out, people, get down the notepad. When your leader says, I'm not a micromanager, they are.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why they're saying that, and that's usually because they're a stage, maybe not a stage 5 micromanager, but we're at least at a 3.5 for sure.
Yeah. Anybody who has to call out what they're not, they clearly have been labeled that before and don't like that.
Yeah. So mine would be no personal boundaries. And I don't mean your boss is on an international trip.
Right.
8 hours ahead of us, and there's an issue with flights, and, you know, you're getting a text at midnight.
Right.
Like, that's part of the job.
Yeah.
I am talking true personal boundaries, calling very regularly after 5 or whenever your work day ends, because they just, like, their brain is always on work. And so they just cannot help themselves with, you know, like typing up an email with the 10 things that you're still worried about and sending it to me that I will get in the morning.
Right.
It's really tough because as people pleasers, as people that are very selfless, it is very hard when you have that leader constantly interfering with, the after hours or the fact that, like, my kid's on a basketball league and Saturday mornings, that's where I'm at. And you're just calling, texting, all of the things. Just because you work to live does not mean that I do.
Right.
And this, at the end of the day, is a job. It's not my life.
No.
So personal boundaries, it was something that, my boss and I talked about in the interview process, and especially as a single mom. It was something that I was like, obviously there's work things that I understand will have to fall into evenings and weekends and all of those things, but I do not want you to be bothering me just to be bothering me.
Right. Right. Because you think I'm just sitting by the phone.
Yeah. Waiting for
you to call.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that too is it's going to affect your relationship anyway, because you're going to have deep-seated resentment towards that person.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is going to overflow into other parts of your life. Your spouse is going to become resentful. Your kids are going to make jokes. It's going to be like a standing thing in your family where your kids or your spouse hate your job because it takes you away from them.
Yeah.
And so, not only does no personal boundaries affect you as the EA, and to your point, as a selfless person, it also affects everybody around you.
Yeah, because, you have to remember these leaders have chosen to be leaders. They have raised their hand. They have committed to working nonstop, working whatever, doing whatever. They're making the big bucks.
Great.
And that is what is expected. I am not in that bucket.
No.
So until I'm getting like 10% of your salary and all of the things that you have, I'm just not there.
Yeah.
I want to do a good job. I care about my job, but I don't care.
We don't have the same buy-in.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we
absolutely.
don't. No. And I think another one would be emotional unpredictability.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're someone who your EA especially can't predict what your mood is going to be, they also control the mood of the team for you. So if you're emotionally unpredictable, you fly off the handle, 1 minute you're hot, 1 minute you're cold, that creates a ton of uncertainty in your organization.
Yeah, you have a team walking on eggshells. You have a team timid, afraid to speak until they know what version of you they're getting today. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want no part in emotional instability.
No. I'm emotionally unstable myself, so I don't need somebody else's emotional instability.
You don't need that to add.
This damn menopause stuff has been tough.
So let's end with some advice.
I love it.
So any of our listeners out there may be working with a new leader. Let's close with something that you would, I guess, share with a new leader or a new admin to a leader to help them get started.
I would say the more authentic you are with them up front, give clear expectations, and just be who you are, the least that you have to, alter later. Because I think they either love you 110% for who you are or they don't, and it's not going to jive. But I think trying to be someone that you're not is going to be more exhausting than if you were just authentic with the right leader than with the wrong leader.
Yeah. I think and I guess I'll start with anybody like maybe interviewing, right? You're in
Yeah.
the interview
Right.
stage.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to kind of step back, evaluate like where you are in life.
Yep.
What are the hours you're willing to work? All of those, like what do you need? You know yourself the most. So what can you provide to the leader or the person you're interviewing that you already know about yourself that they can help or expect? Like, just like you said, you know, the expectations, be authentic. I think bringing that into the interview process on the front end, I think it will allow you to really figure out if you and the leader that you're interviewing with, like, are you going to mesh well? I think it saves all of the back end of stuff that like you could be figuring out, like, oh man, I should have brought this up because now we're kind of having some conflict around this because this, that, and the other thing. I mean, and I know you're not necessarily supposed to, you know, touch on specific topics like religion and all of those things, but for some people, religion can be
very important.
It's very important. It can be a deal breaker. And so you can obviously say that in a way to where it's not giving anything away, but and that would apply to a different topic. Absolutely. Right? I'm just throwing religion out there, obviously, but I think the more upfront with the person you are will help figure out the partnership and if you're even gonna be like a good match. A good work marriage match.
Yeah, and I like to do an exercise with people that I work for that is what I expect from you and what you can expect from me.
I love
and
that.
It's a document that I type, and I can actually, when we post this episode on LinkedIn, I can add it into the comments on my post, but it's what I expect from them as a leader that I support and what they can expect to get from me as their support person. So, and I found it to be, to your point, it helps get a lot of that stuff out of the way, because I think the quicker that you can ramp up, get to know each other, be authentic, get all the awkwardness out of the way.
Absolutely. You can get down to business.
Yeah, you literally can take off on a 10-foot runway versus 6 months down the road, you're just having hard conversations of, well, I expected that you would have did this and you didn't, and that was kind of disappointing. And it's like, so I will share that in the comments though, but I think that that's a maybe a good way to get around that as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So what's one for you that you think?
I mean, I think it's very important about work ethic.
Yes.
And discussing kind of what that expectation is. And I don't like mean it in the sense of like, obviously I'm gonna do your meetings because that's what I'm supposed to do, but what is your buy-in that you're going to provide for the leader? And I get asked this all the time of like, what is one thing that you love about your job? And one of my answers is always that I am so ecstatic to be part of my leader's growth, her success, because that is in part to me. And I think any admin out there that does not see that correlation with the person that they're supporting, I think, you know, I just want to raise that you are absolutely part of that success.
100%.
And I take pride in that. I work really hard to be able to add that. So that's one thing that I work really hard doing.
I think advocating for yourself is another really big one, of knowing what your value is, knowing what you bring to the table, and being unapologetic about that and saying, I know that I'm really good at this. There may be some ways that I'm not. I'm willing to work on that. But what you're really good at, monopolize off of that. Don't settle for anything less than what you feel like you're owed and you deserve. And just always advocate for yourself, like, because they don't see all the things that you do.
Right.
And the reality is you're interviewing them as much as they are you. It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And if you go into interviews and you want to have confidence, to me, the biggest thing is make them sell themselves to you.
Yeah.
They need you as a support person. You know, they
need us way more than we need them.
Yes.
I mean, just being frank about it.
Yes. And interview that way and have the confidence of, okay, tell me why I should work for you, why you should be lucky enough to have me.
Exactly.
And I think that will just exude confidence in you and being like, wow, like, this person like really was like flattered and like rolling all over themselves trying to get me to come work for them. That's what you want to do, because when you exude confidence, you look very competent to someone.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I think that is another big thing. And I think there's not many C-suite leaders out there who do not love confidence in someone. If you have a mousy, quiet, guarded person sitting in an interview, yes, you know, just simply answering questions and not dropping some knowledge, you know, they're going to be like, ooh, I don't feel like they're very strong. And, you know, I mean, there could be some doubt in that, but just go in there confident and be the badass that you are.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Just be the baddie that you are.
Yeah.
And
we're a whole network full of baddies.
Yeah.
And on that note,
that's right. That's right. Be good, be bad, do whatever you got to do, but just, you know, get the damn thing done.
That's right. All right, baddies. Well, that's another episode from us. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good week.
Bye.
That's it for us today, bringing order to corporate chaos.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that follow button.
Yours truly, Melissa
and Michelle, the Biz-y Baddies.